Life without electricity would be really hard. And there's a whole lot of things that we run and we do every day that we wouldn't be able to. Every morning, every lunchtime, we switch on our oven, we have a look at our clock, we turn on the toaster, we have a coffee. Even driving your car, there wouldn't be traffic lights, it would be chaos. I've worked in the electricity industry for 38 years. I always had a Meccano set when I was young. Playing with that, building bridges and things has always piqued an interest. So after school, I decided engineering was the thing I wanted to do. Here I am today, 38 years on, still doing what I love.
Transpower, we have two critical roles. We're the owner-operator of the national grid, which runs from Bluff in the south to Kaikoui in the north, the whole length of New Zealand, about 12,000 kilometres. And we're also the system operator, where we run the electricity market in real time and balance demand and supply, keep the lights on for New Zealanders. We've been the guardian of that power system for over 100 years. The key challenges of running the national grid, first of all, is making sure that you run a reliable service and that you keep the power on all the time when people want it. That requires you to look after your assets. Second thing we're facing at the moment is a huge increase in the number of projects that want to connect new renewable generation to our network. So we have to make sure that we can connect everybody up that wants to connect. Then we have to make sure that once you can connect to our system, you can move your electrons around unconstrained. We have to make sure that we can continue to run the power system as a system operator in real time really well as we add more distributed, intermittent, highly renewable resources to our system. We are working to make sure we can connect up all that new renewable generation that's there and available and supply the extra load that we're seeing now arise as people electrify more of their vehicles, more process heat.
The best part of the job I have is to be a problem solver. I get asked to be involved in complex projects, complex pieces of work. The Clutha Up Waitaki Lines projects were a group of 5 projects that were approved in 2010. The general purpose is to increase capacity a further 400 megawatts of transfer from the south to the north. That 400 megawatts is basically the equivalent of peak load in Wellington City. The biggest part of the project that I was involved in was the Roxburgh-Islington line, which was about 142 kilometres long, about 437 towers. We installed approximately 900 kilometres of wire. We installed approximately 24,000 insulators, installed 8,500 cubic metres of concrete on the 437 towers, about 1,700 truckloads. The sheer scale of the project, 142 kilometres, being able to drive that, being able to work along it. We went from about 1,000 feet to about 3,000 feet. There was a lot of mountains, a lot of archaeology, a lot of conservation areas of things like lizards. The sheer scale of how we got around those things, or the scale of how far it was to get point A to B, or how to plan ahead for the works and the logistics, very, very complex. We interacted with about 380 people throughout the project to get approvals to enter the land, to work with archaeological groups, to work with environmental groups, to work with councils, the local people. I feel really proud pulling this project off. This project can be used as a benchmark as to what we can achieve when we put our minds to it. Change the way we think, challenge ourselves hard, push ourselves harder, plan ahead. When our children were young, you would be driving on the highway and you'd drive past a tower, and often the kids would ask you, "Dad, is that one of yours?" Anyone who works at Transpower, anyone who works on the grid is a custodian of the grid. I believe personally that the people that came before us were our forebearers of bringing the grid to the country. We are merely taking that over from them, and I hope going forward that people come after us as stewards of the grid.